Hi, my name is Arnold. From the government of California. I haven't always been so super massively huge. But once I got these muscles all over my body, I started an action role such as the action-packed classic, Terminator, or the action-packed sequel, Terminator 2, or the greatest action-packed movie of all time, Kindergarten Cop. And for me, this changes everything. Hi, my name is Edna Mo. So you want to make sure you get the house suit. So you want to make sure you get there to fight, win, but no cakes, okay? Okay, I'll talk to you soon, darling. Hi, my name is Bill Cosby. See, and in my days, we didn't have these my places or these face spaces or these books you put on your face, and tweeting was a thing birds did. See, in my days, we wore our trousers on our hips. We didn't walk around with our pants on the ground. You look like a fool with your pants on the ground. Let me tell you something. The only thing that can change you is you. You need to look inside yourself if you want to change. Hi, and welcome to CNN. Today's top news story is that an amateur scientist who put his son up in the weather balloon, calling him Balloon Boy. Well, this just in, who cares? Hi, and welcome to CNN, where we tell you that media changes everything. Hi, my name is Sir Palin. Vote for me because I snowmobile, I play hockey, and I shoot goose. Vote for me because politics change everything. Well, in heaven's name, how many talking geckos do you know? 15 minutes can't really save you 50% or more in car insurance. Money changes everything. Hi, my name's Justin Bieber. And I know I look like a 12-year-old girl, but I'm actually 17. And I'm a boy. How you look like changes everything. Well, I have these pills, and they help me forget about life for a while. It changes everything. Well, my youth group changes everything. Well, not because it's church or anything, but because of that one hot chick. She goes there. The scars in my hand are proof that it changes everything. So I go to parties, and I get wasted, and I have a good time. It helps me forget about life for a while. It changes everything. The things that I hear you say about me change everything. When I hear you say, you may think that I live this good Christian life, but what I hear you say about me, and what my mind tells me about myself, it makes me want to die. Hi. My name is Jesus. And I love you. Don't rely on how you look like to get you through life. Because what you look like changes nothing. Don't think that you yourself have the strength to get through life, because being alone changes nothing. Don't let the media tell you what to think, because the media changes nothing. Please, sons, please, daughters. Don't let drugs, alcohol, sex, boyfriends, girlfriends change you, because they change nothing. Let me change you. Let me wash you clean. Let me separate your sins as far as the west is from the east, because this changes everything. Today we're going to start a series. It's a 6-week series called Got Choices. And what I want to do with you guys during this next 6 weeks is I want to talk to you about some very practical choices that you make in some very practical areas. Over the weekend we got to see an overall the power of choices. We saw how to make good choices. We saw why you should care about the choices you make. But over the next 6 weeks, I want to talk to you about 6 areas that I think that you should be careful and you should care. And these 6 areas will determine and will impact a lot the choices you make. Today, I want to talk to you about how to manage your mouth. We're going to talk about your tongue in just a minute.
Next week, I want to talk to you about surviving your schedule. A lot of you guys say, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time for God. I don't have enough time to do the things I want to do. It's hard being me. And listen, I believe you. And I want to talk to you about how you can manage and survive your schedule. Then, I want us to talk on the third week about getting an angle on anger. I think that one issue all of you guys have, or all of us have, is that we get angry, and when we get angry, we lose it, and we say stupid things, and we make stupid choices, and we just go bananas when we get angry. We're going to talk about how to get a hold of anger. Then I want us to talk about the tension between popularity and friendship. A lot of the choices you make, are because you want to be popular. Or at least you want to be accepted. You want to be welcome. You want to be seen as normal. And there's some friends that also influence the choices you make. So we're going to talk about the tension between popularity and friendship. Just as a show quick of hands, how many of you guys are popular at school? Marvin only? Well, Marvin goes to a school where there's 15 people, so yeah. I'm just kidding. So nobody's popular at school here? Nobody? Natalie's pretty popular. Jasmine's pretty popular. Justin? I bet Justin's popular. Danny? Little Armadillo. Yeah, Little Armadillo's got to be popular. Danny? So, the rest of you guys aren't popular. It's like, people don't pound your potato or anything when they see you walking down. Alright, and then on the fifth week, we're going to talk, and this one I'm excited about because this is one of the reasons why I live my life the way I live it, and I think this is going to be a week where you're going to get to learn a lot. And the fifth week, we're going to talk about making a difference. How can you live? How can you make choices in such a way that you make a difference? One of my favorite athletes, his name's Jackie Robinson, the first African American to play baseball. He said this. He says, your life has no meaning unless it's measured by the impact it has on others. In other words, if you don't impact others, your life has no purpose, has no meaning. And we're going to talk about how to make a difference. And just as you are, with all your flaws, with all your mistakes, with all your limitations, we're going to talk about where you are, from where you're standing, with the issues you're dealing with, how you're going to be able to make a difference. And I'll tell you something, every single one of us can make a difference in more than one person's life. And if I'm making a difference, and I know you probably expect all preachers to say this, but if I'm making a difference, I think you can make a difference. And I'm going to tell you all my flaws and all that stuff so that you can see how much advanced you can be than I am. And then the sixth week is going to be a good one, and we're going to talk about living a life of influence at school. By that time, you're going to be getting ready to go back to school, and I'm going to talk about how you can live a life of influence at school. Just as a quick review before I go into today's topic, we said that you should care about the decisions you make. We talked about it Friday for 4 reasons, right? We said because you have to make choices, and these are going to be the foundation to our 6 weeks. Because you have to make choices, because you want to have a happy and successful life, because our actions have consequences, because we are all responsible to God for our actions, and because they affect those coming after us. Today, I want us to talk about how to manage your mouth. Let's be honest. Our mouth has gotten us into more trouble than the trouble it has gotten us out of. Our mouth has caused more destruction in our life than anything else we've done. Our mouth, it's such a strong instrument, it's such a powerful tool, and we're often so careless. I mean, we don't realize how much power we hold in our mouth. We don't realize how much power there is in the things we say. We don't realize how impacting in other people's lives the words we say are. And we often live and we often make choices with our mouth without realizing the consequences, the power, and the influence. I think most of us, when we think about our mouth, the one thing that concerns us the most is the bad breath. It's like, when we think about our mouth, we don't think about controlling it. We don't think about the power it has. We don't think about the use of it. But we often think about, do I have bad breath or not? Have you ever kissed somebody with bad breath? Have you ever? If you have, can you raise your hand? And I know you won't because your girlfriend or your boyfriend's probably here. And then you're going to be like, no, that's them. You know? But listen, the worst thing about your mouth is not the bad breath that can come out of it. The worst thing about your mouth is the lack of control that you can have for it. See, bad breath is terrible. Bad breath is disgusting. But the one thing that should concern you about your mouth is the lack of control of it. In Proverbs 13:3 in your outline, this is what the Bible has to say. And I thought this was powerful. I thought this was great advice. Listen. If you are here today and you don't believe the whole Jesus thing, you don't believe the whole church thing, these following verses, I mean, they have nothing to do with religion. They're just simple, plain, good sense. They're good advice. And listen, you don't have to believe in Jesus Christ to accept this, to follow this, to consider this great advice. Listen to what Proverbs 13 says. It says, the one who guards his mouth preserves his life. I want you to do something for me. I want you to underline the word his life. If you learn to manage your mouth, you're not going to be saving only others. You're not going to be preserving only others. But you are going to preserve your life. I want to tell you something. Your tongue is going to do damage. But it's not going to damage anybody as much as it's going to damage you. And this wise man, by the way, the person who wrote Proverbs was the wisest man on earth that has ever lived. And this guy spoke so much wisdom. And he said, the one who guards his mouth preserves his life. The one who opens wide his lips comes to ruins. Listen. There's destruction in too much chatting. There's destruction in lack of control. Listen to what he says on another part of that book of Proverbs. In Proverbs 10:19, he says, don't talk so much. You keep putting your foot in your mouth. Be sensible and turn off the flow. It's crazy that this wise individual is saying, listen, let me give you some advice. The less you talk, the better you'll be. The more control you can have of your tongue, the better it's going to be. And I like that illustration that he says. It says, turn down the flow. Have you ever had like a running faucet? You know, it could be in your sink or in your kitchen. But, you know, he is saying, okay, if you want to control your mouth, if you want to have a better life, you have to cut down on all the stuff you say. And I know what you're thinking. Well, does he mean that we should not talk as much? Practically, I want to ask you this question, okay? And you don't have to shout your answer back to me. I want you to answer it right there where you are. How much of the stuff you talk about every day is necessary? How much of the stuff you talk about, how much of the conversations you have, how much of the topics that you discuss are necessary? And how much of it is just stuff? How much of it is just to fill in the gap? Because we hate silence. Because it's awkward to be silent. I'm bored. Somebody text me. Who's still up? Let's chat. I hate this. Somebody come save me. Who wants to kick it? Who wants to hang out? Oh, I lost my phone. How much of all the chattering we do, how much of all the stuff we say is really necessary? Now, I want us to look briefly at some indicators of poor mouth management. And I think this is going to be like one of those self-tests, you know, one of those things that you do. Girls, you guys love doing this in those 17 magazines and stuff like that. Like, how do you know he's cheating on you? Or how do you know he's the one? Or how do you know that, you know, this is one of those things. We're going to look at some indicators, and if you can add a check next to them, the reality is that you probably have very poor management of your mouth. I mean, because if I were to ask you guys, Matthew, do you consider you use your mouth wisely? Matthew's going to say, of course.